Hey everybody, Jordan here with Farm Builder, and today we're going to show you how to build a tire feeder. So if you run sows on pasture, one of the most common complaints or things that you see is, what do you do for feeding them? You can use the expensive troughs from Tractor Supply or whatever, but the pigs break those pretty quickly. You can have the steel propane tank cut in half, but that's a heavy thing and freezes to the ground. Or what a lot of people do is they just throw it on the ground and let the sows eat directly off the dirt. Don't like to do that for a number of reasons. One, it wastes feed into the ground. Two, you're asking the sows to ingest more parasites. They're already getting enough from doing natural pig stuff, so let's keep it in a feeder. So how do we do this and be cost efficient though? That Rubbermaid trough from Tractor Supply, it's 60, 70 bucks. Multiply that by however many sows you have on your farm. You're talking about a lot of money there in feeders. So tire feeder is something I came up with several years ago. We've simplified the build over the years. And what we'll show you here is the most current and simple version of building this low cost, high efficiency, very portable, and we will say for the most part, sow-proof feeder. All right, so what we have here is one of our complete units that we just built, and we'll show you how this is put together, and we'll go through the details of how we actually construct it. But the premise of the tire feeder is to have a wooden platform with some kind of skids attached to the bottom, to hold it all together and also keep it off the ground a little bit. Usually if it's real muddy, it'll sink in. And then having the tires attached to the top. Now the tires serve to keep the feed on the platform because pigs like to spill things everywhere. A couple things to mention at this point. One is about pressure treated. Everyone has their opinion about pressure treated. I've looked into some of the safety research on this new style pressure treated. I think it's ACQ or AQC or something like that. And this is very non-toxic. It would take a large amount of ingestion to actually have an effect on an animal. So for our farm, we are not certified organic. We're not hitting any of those type of production protocols. So we can use pressure treated, and for us, it's not a issue to do so. I know some people don't. And if you want to sawmill your lumber, of course, you're more than welcome to do that. The reason that we're using pressure treated is this is in the dirt, mud usually, and we need it to last several seasons. So we'll go over a couple things here on just the design features of the feeder. So we'll start with the tires. These are just old junk tires that you can get from any tire shop in your area. They usually have to pay to get rid of them, so they are happy to give you as many as you want. The feeder is designed for the simplest construction and the minimal amount of cutting that has to be done. So there's only 2 cuts on this entire project, and it's taking this 4x4 that starts as an 8-footer and cutting it into 3 pieces for the 3 skids that you see across there. Pigs don't care if it's down to the 8th or whatever. Get it in the ballpark. Now, if you come look up in here, this is where we've definitely had our most trial and error and lessons learned, is how do you keep it all together when you have these huge animals that are just flipping it over and shoving it around all day. And so a couple of the critical components here are, you have to have a carriage bolt that connects the platform to the 4x4 underneath. Otherwise, the 4x4 will eventually be ripped off either by your machinery or the pigs themselves. So you can't get away with just screwing it on. It has to be bolted all the way through. You have a drill here, but this is kind of a small drill, and I like to have the right tool for the right job. So we go big or we go home. Now we're in business. So we got a carriage bolt in, flat washer, lock nut, because that will help keep it on. And we'll go ahead and tighten these puppies down. Wait a minute. I think we have the right tool for this job. Oh, yes, we do. So next step, we have our tires here, and we need to cut the sidewall out to use this as a dish. We're gonna leave the sidewall on the bottom side. That's what will allow us to anchor into the base. And so, common misconception that there is not steel in the sidewall of these, so you can cut through them with your common hand knife that you have. And I think I've seen this joke before. We have a tool for this. Do you know what the key to a happy spouse is, Sarah? One of all the tools. That's right. Also, the bolts that are used to hold the tire on. So we are using 3/8 lag bolts, and these are 2.5 inches long, so they do stick out the bottom a little bit, and that's fine because this is what's going to get the most pressure or the most tearing and ripping action as the feed's in here and the pig's working it and pushing the tire and jostling it all around. After about a year of use, the pigs actually will rip this tire completely off the platform, but that's fine because we can come back these lags out, or if they're too far gone, just grind them off flush, slap another tire on top, pop new lags in, and we are off and going. That wraps it up. All right, so we built 6 of these things. Take them out to a new set of gilts. We are just graduating to breeder status, so they will be going from a bulk feeder to regimented feed. They got to go on a diet, take these things out to the field, and that's right, get after it. All right, we'll see you next time.